Now here's the troubling one, and this I only started looking at recently. This is the long-term trend for home stair-related injuries, these long bars. You can see how they leveled off here. And some of this could be a statistical artifact, but that's the home stairs. These are stairs in all of their settings. And that ratio was around 5 to 1. And now we have this spiking occurring. These are what I call excess injuries. And this is currently running at 300,000 per year. That's the pattern since 2004. And I'll be looking forward to seeing the data for the next year, well, actually 2008. I've never seen such a spike in any injury category. That total for that time period, that triangle, is 2 million excess injuries. And these are the ones that were, in my view, were totally preventable. And the current value, it's the societal cost of those 2 million injuries in current dollars is around $200 billion. And I stress that is just these. These are beyond expectation because these are the non-home stairs trend over the last decade. It's been going down because we finally started doing those right. Now this applies to the US. I'd love to see data for Canada because I don't think in Canada it's been dropping. If anything, in Canada I suspect the non-home stairs have been rising for reasons we'll get into later. And I did check for age effects immediately. There's no age effect here. All age groups are impacted by this equally. In other words, people over 65 comprise 14% of the injuries here as well as here, within 0.5%.
I'm sorry, to back up. You were saying we're designing the home stairs properly or not designing home stairs?
We're designing the non-home stairs properly in the US.
Okay.
I can only speak for the US because I've been working on standards and codes to get these fixed. So I'm gratified to see that late in my career because I started back here. Well, my first stair work was back here. So this is what I would have liked to have seen earlier. But this here, this home stair one that's growing so rapidly, is also within expectation now that I understand some of the causes. I don't know the contribution of any particular cause other than the one we were talking about, the top of flight defect, could be responsible for all of this. And I don't know, for example, whether injuries in this area here are also partly due to that. That's going to take some parsing of, or it's going to take some field work and some epidemiological work to find that out.
What year do you think the top of flight defect started to come into play?
It came in back here.
Oh, way back.
Yeah, because like I have this one case now I'm working with, it was 1957.
So I'm just trying to figure out, so maybe the top of flight defect doesn't account for all the, maybe there's other factors in this sudden increase from 1998 to now or something.
Yeah, well, the one that I thought I was on to, and I did the round the world tour last year lecturing on this, in various countries. I thought it had to do with the decreasing fitness of people, which affects all ages. It's not obesity, it's fitness, which has deteriorated quite markedly since I started. Like my work was done back here in the late 60s on performance of people on stairs. And the reason I have to discount that is if that were true, then this one should have risen as well. In other words, there should have been a bit of an uptick here with the non-home stairs. We haven't seen that. In fact, that's the one that's going down. So if you take that here, it's just magnified by a factor of 5 here, roughly. So I don't think it's a fitness issue, and fitness might at most account for half, at the very most, maybe half. But What's happening here is far more potent. And if in the next 15 years, which is how long I want to be in the field, if this trend continues, it's currently running at 800,000 per year. That's hospital treated, which means you multiply by 2.5, and that's 2 million a year medically treated. So,
have the design of stairs within dwelling units changed to any degree? One factor I'm thinking of is winders. You know, have there been more winders in the past, or more winders now?
If there were winders, they were, well, the quality of stairs in homes has gone down in both the US and Canada, quite aside from the nosing projection issue. Stairs are pretty crappy now. You're more likely to have a non-uniformly built stair now than you did have back in the 50s. This is part of a long-term trend in stair craftsmanship. It's been going down for the last 110 years at least, maybe 200 years. Because if you look at an old stair built, say, in the 19th century, there's some lovely stairs. They're still holding up very well. They're built to a gnat's eyelash. They're built at a time when stair building was the highest art in the building field. It's now the lowest. Unless you're an architect and you can afford to have your client pay a lot of money for a grand stair or something. But even then, there's a truism. It's called Pauls perverse ratio. At least it used to be called that, which is the more money you have to spend on a stair, the worse it'll be. And there's a lot of architects give me all kinds of evidence for that. But that's the cynical view. Let's move on. Okay, so it's roughly 200 billion excess. This is societal cost now, of which 20 billion of that would be medical treatment cost. I have no idea what the Canadian situation is. All I know is that my own professional investigation work in falls on stairs, I have much more work in Canada than I have in the US. And my hunch is that if we had Canadian data, this trend might be quite different. We could be up here somewhere if we prorated, and it could be rising faster in Canada. I don't know. All I know is that I discovered the problem first in Canada, and I discovered it on home stairs and non-home stairs. And so I'm seeing so many litigation cases now, and most of them are the non-uniformity at the top.